good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sister Yvette, for asking me to do this. You know, before I get to where I'm at today, you know, I'm going to walk you through, you know, what, you know, my life, you know. So, you know, I was born and raised in East LA, and, you know, a lot of drugs, a lot of crazy stuff going on. And I'm real grateful to my mother because my mother planted the seed when, you know, before even kindergarten, she used to give me money and send me to the Bethel Church right there at Hamel School where I used to go. So that started it, okay? And then, one thing good, they don't do this today, but back then, on Wednesdays, if you're Catholic, you go to Our Lady of Guadalupe for catechism.
Yeah.
If you're Protestant, we would go to right there on Gage and Brooklyn to Victory Temple, you know. And then my mom, she would send me in summer vacation, she would send me to Green Oak Ranch, you know. And then the next summer, again, she sent me to Green Oak Ranch. And then Christmas vacation came up, and she sent me to Green Oak Ranch, and this was always a Christian place. So when I went to the Christian service, the Christmas, you know, vacation service, you know, I stood there for a week, and I was 10 years old, and we were focusing so much on Jesus, and they asked, you know, we was all kids, you know, who wanted to get saved. So I got saved then when I was 10 years old.
All right.
Amen.
And I believe, I'm really grateful for that from my mom because, sure, I didn't stay there, but it always brought me back. I always returned, you know? And so I'm always grateful for that happening. You know, as a matter of fact, about 10 days ago, I haven't been there in, Jesus, over 50 years. I went to Green Oak Ranch. I did a little, what I call a memory lane gratitude.
All right.
Driving. I went to Oceanside, went to Camp Pendleton, I went to Green Oak Ranch. And so, you know, I'm really grateful to God because God has always been with me. And I felt that I've always been blessed, even when I was doing wrong because I got saved at 10. I felt like God knew that one of these days, you know, God always gave me chances, you know. And, you know, and I don't blame the life I lived on anybody but myself today,
Right.
you know.
That's right.
Like, under the same roof, you know, my brother lived, oldest brother, he died of 39 years old of a heroin overdose. Living under the same roof, same mother. My second oldest brother died at 58 of a heroin overdose.
Oh.
Okay? So I don't blame the life I led. You know, I went to prison and jail and all that. I don't blame my life on them because under the same roof, my brother Albert, he went to Vietnam. You know, he worked matter of fact, he worked with Pastor Sadeh for 14 years in Continental Camp.
Okay.
Well, he worked forever, but Pastor Sadeh worked for 14 years. He retired. He bought not one, but 2 homes, one in Santa Fe Springs, one in La Habra, La Mirada, okay? Under the same roof. Under the same roof, my sister, this year, she has 40 years non-stop working for LA County Fire Department.
Praise the
Amen.
So I
Lord.
don't blame, you know,
Yeah.
you know, I don't blame all East LA, you know, my brothers, whatever, you know, because, you know, today I was blessed a lot, you know. I always room the blessings, you know.
Amen.
I went, you know, I went to the military, you know. I tried to follow my one brother Albert because he was the only one that graduated from high school in our family. Then I was the second one that graduated from high school. Then he was the only one in the family that went to the military. Then I was the second one that went to the military. And, you know, so God really blessed me. I had a really good job, you know, and I bought a new car, bought a Chevy Caprice, and I got caught stealing fire extinguishers from my job that I had for the county. So they fired me. So I immediately enlisted in the Marines because I had a car payment and my brother Albert co-signed for me. So I didn't want to mess up his credit or whatever. So I immediately joined the Marine Corps.
All right.
And so that worked out okay. I paid off my car. And I even re-enlisted, you know, while I was in there. And, you know, I really, you know, liked it, but the reason I didn't stay, my goal was to stay. If you do 20 years in the military, you can retire with 75% pay. If you do 30 years, you can retire with full pay. So I could have either retired at the age of 38 with 75% pay, or I could have retired at the age of 48 with 100% pay. But because I was in the Philippines, I was in Korea,
wow.
Alaska, Japan, Okinawa, Korea, I couldn't use drugs that much, you know. I used drugs, but not that, you know, when I was at Camp Pendleton, but when I was over there, I didn't try to find drugs. You know, there might have been drugs, but I didn't want to find them because it's different over there. If you get busted in Japan, you don't go to the county jail, go in the day room, watch the Lakers, you know, NBA, you know. If you get busted in Japan, you do hard labor every day.
Wow.
You eat the same thing, rice patties, and you know, so I don't want to get busted here. So I finally, when I didn't get dishonorably discharged. As a matter of fact, I got an honorable discharge, the good conduct medal, but I left because, you know, I'm always far away. So I left, got married immediately after I got out, and you know, got my wife pregnant. But like I said, the reason I got out because I wanted to use drugs a lot. Well, we both used drugs, and she got pregnant. She was gonna have a baby, but lost the baby because we were smoking angel dust so much. Okay, and then you know, that the drugs is what ended that wedding, and I was really blessed. My wife today is a professor. My ex-wife is a professor at East LA College. She's a drug counselor, and somebody told me, oh, what happened there, Joe, was after you. She said, oh my God, I got to save the world from people like Joe. She became a drug counselor. She didn't get into recovery or nothing like that. She just did it on her own. And so, you know, I went to jail a lot. I dealt drugs. You know, I was addicted to drugs and dealing drugs. You know, and you know, but even though I was living that crazy life, I still, you know, would pray. As a matter of fact, I have 5 Bibles. This is my #1 Bible. Okay? And, you know, and that's because it says right here, August 1st, 2007, Chaplain Bob gave it to me. Okay? You know, so, you know, the most fancy Bible I had was real big. It had gold, you know, like right here. It had like grooves to show you, okay, where Genesis is at, where Galatians is at, where, you know, and so even though I was really using drugs a lot, you know, I wasn't unique because the guy I bought that Bible from, he had a candy apple red 76 Caprice Classic with a big mural of Jesus Christ. I asked him, how much you want for that Bible? He goes, the super cool. So I bought it off for a super cool. You know, so that was my life. You know, I never, you know, kind of like John 3:16. You know, just felt like, oh, as long as you believe in Christ, you know, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna live forever as long as you believe in Him. You know, it didn't really do much. You know, go to church. Even in boot camp, we go to church. And so, you know, I would always get busted, and you know, I got busted, and one of the times I was in jail was in 1974. And as a matter of fact, I forgot to say this when I started. I wanted to say this when I started. Right now, I wanted to say, if you guys told me I only had 1 minute to give a testimony, I would say, okay. There's my testimony right there. Amen. On his knees, praying with the Bible. And come on, Joe. Christ is bending the bars, pulling them out. Amen. That's like my story right there. If I only have 1 minute to tell my story. So in 1984, you know, I was at the Old County Jail, and that's the first time I ran into Chaplain Bob. I went to his services, and they were really good. You know, I really liked the way he preached, and you know, he would always, he would even come to your cell and visit you, you know. And we always had really good services, big services. And then, you know, in my head, like, I'm thinking when I get out, I'm not going to use no more. But as soon as I get out and I'm back in East LA, it's just like, boom, you know, like eating Mexican food. I mean, you know, in East LA, you know. So I would use again, you know. And I would run into Chaplain Bob and go to church once or twice. And then I wouldn't see him again. And I'd get busted, go to prison. Then I'd see him in prison in Chino, okay? And once again, I tell myself, when I get out, I'm not going to use no more because I don't want to go to prison again. And I get out, and it just happens again. As soon as I get out, I start using again, okay? And then, you know, the best thing that finally happened was in 1984. I mean, 1984. Well, the best things happened when I met him in 1984. So I kept on seeing him back and forth. But 2003, that year, okay, this is when I was on meth. And I didn't know where to find Chaplain Bob. But when you do meth, you hear voices. So I know he was from Pico Rivera. So I would go in my car, and I would park right there on Beverly. There's a park right there on like Beverly and Durfee. I'd recline my smoke meth, recline my seat, close my eyes, and listen to him preach. You know, and I would do that a lot. You know, okay. This is in 2004, like the summer of 2004. Then October 2004, my brother died of a heroin overdose. My second brother died of a heroin overdose. Okay, and a couple of weeks later, I got busted. I was out tweaking in the morning. 3 in the morning, I ran out of gas, and I went and siphoned some gas out of the car. And the guy had a camera on his car, so you know, he came out and he called the cops, and I didn't leave because the car was under my name. I didn't take off running. I'm like, well, what are they gonna do to me? Nothing. I didn't even get no gas. I was gonna siphon gas. I didn't get a drop of gas out of his car. I didn't damage his car. I hadn't been busted in 4 years. I've been doing meth for 4 years. Well, I just forgot part of the story, so I got to get there. The reason I did meth was this. I'll get back to that part, but this is the part I wanted to tell about.
It's okay, preach it.
So I was dealing heroin and stuff like that, and my mom was on dialysis, and she was really going through some stuff. She had a lot of medication, so I was dealing, so I take her to dialysis, I pick her up, I take her to go get to her doctor's appointments, to the pharmacies, and then I got busted. So I got busted in the county jail, and I did just like this shirt. I kneeled on my knees,
Amen.
got my Bible, and I prayed, God, please don't let my mom pass away
Right.
while I'm in prison.
That's right.
Okay, and I made a deal with God. I go, because I was a heroin addict, then I go, if my mom doesn't die, I promise I'll never use heroin again, and I'll never stick a needle in my arm again.
Hallelujah.
Okay, so I did a year and a half, this was in 1996. So I got out in 1998 out of prison, and my mom was alive.
Praise the Lord.
So I got 2 jobs.
That's right.
I didn't drink, I didn't use, I didn't smoke weed, nothing, you know.
Amen.
And then in 1999, March of 1999, my mom passed away, you know. And a few months later, I said to myself, wow, Joe, it's been years. You haven't went out to a nightclub, you haven't went dancing, you haven't went to a bar. So I started going and drinking O'Doul's. And I thought O'Doul's, I didn't know that was a beer. I thought it was just beer taste. And one day some guy told me, if you drink enough of those, you'll get a buzz. I go, no, this is non-alcoholic beer. He said, look at the label. So I looked at the label, and it had a small percentage of alcohol. So I said, oh man, you're charging me a couple of dollars for watered down beer? Give me a Corona. So So I started drinking Coronas, and somebody told me, "Hey, Joe, there's one drug you never used." I go, "What's that?" They go, "Glass." I go, "What's that?" They go, "It's a crystal meth." So I started doing meth, and to me, okay, I'm not breaking that promise with God. I'm not doing heroin. I'm not sticking a needle in my arm. So I did meth for 4 years, and then I got busted, like I was explaining to you. Okay, and the good thing about this was, I went to court, and they, like I said, I thought I was only getting 90 days. I thought I'd be I think they call it a 7, where you just go in and you get out. I'm like, I haven't been busted in 4 years. I didn't do no violent to them. I didn't have no drugs on me. I tried to siphon gas. I didn't get a drop of gas. I tried to siphon gas out of the car. So I'm thinking, I'll probably get 90 days in the county jail. So I go to court, and they gave me a 5-year prison sentence with a court card and testing. And the reason they gave me so much time, because this guy went to court, and he said that he was in fear of his life, and I didn't have a weapon, I didn't have a knife, I didn't have a gun, but I guess, Joe tweaked out at 3 in the morning, you scare somebody, so that's why they gave me the biggest sentence I ever had. And I always used to just get busted for possession of heroin, possession of PCP, and they'd give me a 2-year sentence, and I'd do 13 months. They'd give me a 3-year sentence, I'd do a 1.5 years. So this is the first time I got a big 5-year sentence. And so things changed in the county jail. Before anybody could be a trustee. I'm not from a gang, so I was able to be a trustee. So I was a trustee. I already took the deal. They're going to let me out in a few weeks. And so I'm over in the hallway. There's an elevator, and I have to just do the trash there. And there's 2 deputies right there in the booth. And there's nobody in the hallway. There's no inmates around. There's just those 2 deputies in the booth and me in the elevator. And I hear the deputy say, "Oh, there's a chingon." So I thought he was talking about me. Yeah, you're right. So the elevator right next to me, and I'm coming out of my elevator, and it was Chaplain Bob coming out of his elevator. And that's what he was calling it, chingon. So I seen Chaplain Bob, and I said, "Hey, I'm getting out." So he gave me his card. So the good thing about this is finally I never lost track.
Right.
We didn't lose contact after that. Finally, okay, I got out. I got in started, had his card, so I started, going to this Baldwin Park hardcore. Started going more and more, and I'm not using drugs, so it's events, like 4 events in the last week, and so I seen Chaplain Bob in February of 2005, and I got out a few weeks later, and so we've been close since then, and he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You only come here once a month." I go, "Well, yeah, you only have service here once a month." And he told me, "Hey, you should ask Pastor Sadeh, you should go to his church." And that worked out so good, because what a coincidence. I talked to Pastor Sadeh. Pastor Sadeh went to elementary school with my sister, known her since then. Wow. He worked 14 years with my brother at Continental Can.
Wow.
My other brother, he was busted in Wayside, and he wanted him to get into his audio gallery. So he knew all this when I barely got to know him.
That's right.
And here's another good thing that really worked out. His church is right there across the street from Evergreen Cemetery.
Yeah.
Where my mom's at.
Yeah.
So, real close. And every Mother's Day when he had service, he would say, "Does anybody want to come up here and share about their mother?" And I would always go up there and share, because my mom's right there. And I would say, "Well, my mom's probably mad because the door's closed and she can't hear me singing, And, so that really worked out good, really, that's when I started going to church every week, and like Sister shared, I go everywhere, I go everywhere.
That's right.
you know, and that really worked out really good. You know, I've been paying, you know, tithes for many years. You know, I go to church, you know, every week. I go to Bible study every week.
That's right.
And then this pandemic happened, and this thing really, you know, I don't think I'm unique, but this thing got me closer to God than ever. I don't go to church once a week. I go to church like 4 times a week.
Amen.
I go to Bible study once a week. I go to Bible study like 3 times a week.
Come on, Joe.
I don't read my Bible once a week, or I read my Bible every single day.
That's right. Amen.
You know, and I noticed how everything got good, you know, and here was the scary part, but I didn't lose faith. Okay, I work on film productions, you know, and that's a big blessing. I mean, here I've been to prison 6 times. I got, you know, all these times I've been to jail and prison. I got selfies and autographs with Brooke Shields, with John Travolta, George Lopez, Shamar Moore, you know,
Lindsay.
worked on Pirates of the Caribbean, 90210, you know. But you know what? I work with all these stars, but to me, Jesus Christ is.
Come on.
Come on,
So that's really a blessing. To me, that is all God. That is all God.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
You know, and all these blessings I had, like I said, these great wives, these great jobs. Oh, I didn't even share about this. When I got out of the Marines, I got a job. I was a Halitech firefighter for Alley County Fire Department, and it was New Year's Eve, and I felt like, you know, I'm at Camp 1 over here across the street from Guatemala High School, and I go, it's New Year's Eve, it's not hot, it's not, you know, there's not going to be a brush fire on New Year's Eve, so we have a big day room, and everybody's playing pool, and they're playing cards, and I thought, it's New Year's Eve, and I need to celebrate, so I smoked not 1, but 2 Super Cools. And I was stuck in the middle of this day room. Like, this is the day room. I'm stuck like a statue right there. I couldn't move, you know? So I got fired from that job. See, all these blessings God gave me, the job for the county, you know, I lost it for stealing. You know, the marriage, I lost it. The child I was going to have, I lost it because of drugs. I lost, not, oh, this happened. Why did this? No, it happened because of Joe, you know?
That's right.
I lost that fire department because of Joe. So today, that's not me today, you know. Today,
right.
You know, I don't do none of that today. So so what happened was they stopped filming. We were on season 3, and we stopped filming, and I'm like, oh man. I mean, I didn't lose hope, you know. I'm going to church for years. Going to Bible study for years, paying tithes and offerings, reading my Bible. So I said, you know what? Thank God that I have some money in my savings. If I don't get a job for about 2 months, I'll be all right. If I don't get a job after that, well, thank God I got a couple of cars. I'll sell the Cadillac. Somebody's always trying to buy my Cadillac. And I go, so, you know, this is, I'm not thinking negative. I'm like, thank God I have that.
Amen.
You know?
Hallelujah.
So,
We'll see you through.
once again, got on my knees and prayed. Okay? At home. Okay? Everything's closed. I did go apply at try to apply at the Veterans Center over in East LA. They're closed. Because this pandemic, everything was closed. In the beginning, everything was closed. So, I'm praying, and this is straight God, because while I'm praying, nothing happens. As soon as I stop praying, my phone rings. They ask me, can you work 50 minutes away from home? A company that I didn't apply for, a company I didn't know existed. I didn't ask nobody, you know, I'm like, so I said, yeah, you know. I go, man, this is so perfect, you know. I usually drive an hour and a half to work every day. Now I'm going to only drive 15 minutes to work. So, hung up the phone, and I started crying, but there were tears of joy. I mean, that was straight God. That was just straight God. I didn't apply for the job. I didn't call saw this person. I didn't even know about this place. And they called me, you know, right after I prayed. Not during my prayer, right when I ended my prayer. You know?
That is good.
So, that situation brought me so close to God. I'm like, wow, man. Joe, you know, the closer you get to God, so that's where I'm at, you know, like, you know, I have, when I drive my Cadillac, I have this on the dashboard. I say prayers while I'm driving, you know, I like look at it, I look at the street, look at it. When I drive to work on my Toyota Highlander, I have this on the driveway. When I read my Bible, I read like this.
There you go.
You know,
you and Jesus.
You know, if you would have told me that you could share for 3 minutes, Joe, this would be my share. Okay? This is my screensaver, this picture. Okay? Well, 15 years ago, the screensaver in my car was a Raider Insignia. Okay? Then I got a brown Cadillac. So then I had a brown Cadillac as my screensaver. I traded it in a couple of years later and got a white Cadillac. So then that was my screensaver. A couple of years later, I traded in and got a black Cadillac. And that was my screensaver. Got in this relationship, so her picture was on my screensaver. After a year, we broke up. So I took her picture off and I put this on my screensaver.
Just keep that
After a couple of months, we got back together, and I didn't put her picture back on. I left it.
Thank you, Lord.
And that will never change, because you know what?
That's right.
Because Jesus Christ, like the way I had the Raiders on there, Jesus Christ doesn't have a losing season.
That's right.
And the way I'm not going to change, you know, from a brown Cadillac to a white. I'm not going to change, you know, that, you know. And then relationship, Jesus Christ ain't going to keep me to the curb.
That's right.
Jesus Christ ain't going to break my heart.
Come on.
So this is you know, this is never going to change. I don't care if I get half.
Sorry. No.
Your recall.
And so that will never. Next month. A week from today, I'm going to be 64 years old. And so, you know, that to me is a big deal, you know, because, you know, my oldest brother died at 39 of a heroin overdose. My second oldest brother died at the age of 58 of a heroin overdose. So the baby of the family has been clean for 16 years. Is going to be 64 years old next week. You know? And I'm not just, you know, to me, I'm not just alive. I work harder than I did in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s. You know what? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be in Santa Clarita at 4 in the morning. Okay?
That's right.
So, you know, I work weekends. I never used to work this hard. I wouldn't do that before, you know. I mean, I guess I'll drugs and stay home, you know. You know what? I'm really blessed. And, you know, I don't have no health issues. I don't have, you know, during this pandemic, all it's done is bring me closer to God, you know.
Thank you, Lord.
And I'm just, it's all day long, you know. Okay, and you know, so like I said, I'm always looking at God, and the other thing that's changed, you know, is, okay, I have a lot of CDs, you know, I'm always listening to music, you know, I listen to a lot of like Motown and Delphonics and Midnighters and the Moments, and then 10% of the time I'll listen to some Christian oldies. Well, that changed. I now 90% of the time listen, you know, I have all these CDs, you know, I have Kenny Machaca, Pastor Sade, Jimmy Sincerely, Little Willie G, Joseph Munoz, MC Boulevard, David Jaramillo, and a whole bunch of, you know, mixed ones. And that's all I listen to. While I'm driving, I'm looking at this picture, listening to these oldies, and I just, you know, I'm not like just with God on Sundays, or just right before I eat, you know, pray for the food. It's like all day long, you know. It's all day, and it's such a good feeling, you know. It's such, I feel this relationship, you know. I always like, sometimes something's gonna happen, and I'll think, okay, this A might happen, it might be like A. So I pray to God that it be like B, but it's never like A or B. It's C, which is better than what I even thought, you know. All this stuff stuff that happens, my day ends up going good. I'm thinking this might happen, that might happen, because I'm in charge of a lot of people. It's not just, I can show to work up an hour early, and if somebody shows up late, then they get on me because I'm the boss,
Yeah.
So everything's, really going good. I'm really grateful. I just go to church as much as I can. I don't like, oh man, I gotta get up at 2 in the morning. I can't go to Bible study tonight. I can't go to church. I work 16 hours. I gotta, whatever, I'm gonna miss. No, I'm gonna come and, God, I just put it in God's hands, and it always works out. It always works out, and I'm really grateful to God that I can do it. I'm like, wow, every day. Tea time, not just celebrating birthday, just every day waking up. I gotta go to work. I gotta do this. I gotta boom, whatever I gotta do. Bills, so what? I pay them. I pay them. I'm not like in any kind of bad situation. I feel bad about this coronavirus thing for so many people, but for me, it's really, I've never been this close to God. I've never been so blessed, health-wise, financial-wise, it's, work-wise, everything has never been so good. And my number one prayer every morning, I say a long prayer for all of my pastors, chaplains, family, people I know going through stuff. I even pray for the leaders of our nations, even the ones I don't like our governor, but I still pray because, they're doing their part. I'm not a politician. I don't know I know it's not what I want. I want things open, but I pray for everybody. The only prayer for me is thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right.
The one thing I do ask for is please don't let me get this coronavirus, because I want to continue to be a productive member of society. I want to continue to be self-serving through my own contributions. I want to continue to be a tithes and offering giver. I want to continue to go to church as much as I want. I want to continue to go to Bible study as much as I want. I want to keep on working. I want to help my company. I want to help the production. I want to help my guards. Get them work. And I want to be able to be of service. Not only do I go to church a lot, I even have a commitment at church. I don't just go and I even have commitments. And so I'm really, really, and I'm almost at the end, and just want to say that sure, I'm sharing a lot of good, but I'm not, I'm not trying to say that I'm there. I finally reached it. No, I'm just getting better. I'm getting better.
That's right.
I'm never going to be perfect, And I'm glad to be a Christian, and to be a Christian means to be Christ-like. And to me, if you tell me 2 words to explain Jesus Christ, is forgiving and loving. So I need to be forgiving and loving. I don't care if you're a crazy driver on the freeway, if you got an attitude at a market or whatever. I'm a loving and forgiving person because I see how God loved and forgave me. So who am I to be judging other people? And I'm just grateful, and thank you.
All right, Joe.
Hey, Joe, what do I tell you all the time? Do you have a girlfriend yet?
I told him he can have 5 this year.
She just brought me to a part of my thing that I so I read the Bible every day. Think about a minute, okay? And I can relate with stuff, And I read something in Galatians that said, if you are divorced, you can now pay 100% attention to me, And sure, the Bible talks about if you're married, be faithful and all that, but that was a good feeling. Though, you're right. I'm not focusing on that thing right now. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. I'm just saying that made me feel good. The second thing that I read, like also in Galatians, it talked about the law. I said, if you, just by obeying the law of the land, doesn't mean that, you're right with God. This is the law we follow. you know, because during this pandemic, when all the churches are closed,
That's right.
I went to church more than ever, you know, we, even my church, Hosea Chapel, the cops came, but luckily they came after services. We were inside and we left, and the only ones there was a pastor and the worship team. So it wasn't over 10 people there. And now we have services outside. So to me, you know what? I don't care. If I was willing to go to prison for drugs, I'm willing to get arrested. If I get arrested for being in church inside, or we're not supposed to sing. It's okay. It's okay to scream and protest and all that without wearing a mask. But don't be at church and don't be singing. You know, like. So I don't care about that. I'm caring about the Bible. You know, when this thing happened, you know, the Bible says where two or three are gathered, there I am in the midst. So I didn't want to be doing Zoom meetings or you know, Facebook, or, you know, my landlady tells me she watches Joel Osteen. You know, why are you going to church? I'm going to watch Joel Osteen. Well, I like to see you guys. I like to know I'm not the only one.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.